Oh, we have got a juicy one for you today. Woo! Hello, sports card friends. We have made it to the end of the week. Hopefully everybody is doing amazingly well. I was watching the Sports Card Radio live stream last night and I caught a story that they were talking about that I had missed. And then I dove a little bit deeper into it and I thought that it was really interesting and worth kind of a broader topic, broader discussion around it.
You take the card and put it in the sleeve.
All around sports memorabilia. We talk a lot about cards here, and this kind of ties in memorabilia and some of the risks associated. So what this was, and the reason why I think this is so important is Darren Ravel has been reporting on sports cards, sports memorabilia, and sports stuff really for a long period of time. I believe he was at ESPN at one point. But yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, he came out with an article. This item was a game-used Michael Jordan jersey. Not autographed, okay? So just a game-used Michael Jordan jersey sold for $27,000. Still a lot of money, frankly. I mean, that's a heck of a lot of money. Yes, it's game used, and maybe part of the attraction to something like that is the fact that, these are being cut up and put into cards. So maybe there is, some added attention to these sorts of things. But before I go on, big shout out to today's video sponsor, Whatnot. Maybe you don't have the time, energy, money to get out to the card show. Where can you get card show level cards, products? You can get it directly through the live streaming app, Whatnot. Make sure to check them out. You can buy all sorts of different singles running at auction all the time. So certainly check out the Whatnot live streaming card app today. All right, and something that I'm learning more and more about, I'm not brand new to this, but I've heard of photo matching jerseys and game balls and different things to certain events to where it adds provenance to that particular item. And that's basically exactly what occurred here. The buyer at $27,000 felt that they could photo match this to a certain event, and that was the 1996 Eastern Conference Finals. So for Michael Jordan, this of course would add more excitement, more provenance to that particular item. And so there's a company called Migray, I'm probably saying it wrong. They are the leading authority on photo matching across all the collectibles industry. Now, to me, I've got to just being an outsider looking in, I've never bought an item like this. I have a signed jersey, but it's not, it's like, it's the Target jersey or whatever. It's the Sports Authority jersey. It's not any sort of game used or game worn or whatever where the price goes way up. But photo matching has got to be tough. Just being an authenticator for it. I don't know anything about this sort of authentication to where do they offer certain guarantees, around it, or, how that looks, the experience that they have. But essentially the Tony Ranzi, again, I might be saying this wrong, Foundation sent in pictures. Now, to give some context, Tony passed away in 2006 from cancer. The foundation sent in these pictures and was able to get this thing authenticated from the 1996 Eastern Conference Finals. Well, somehow the family caught wind of it, according to Darren Ravel's article, and I'll put the full article in my video description as well to check it out. But they're basically like, hey, we don't have any ties to this foundation. We don't know anything about this foundation. The son had said, I was in charge of all of the legal affairs and everything when my dad had passed away, and they had not heard anything about this foundation. Well, it turns out the foundation was started, according to Darren, in July of 2023. Pretty recently, the foundation had begun. There's some issues with the website trying to access certain things. And so then it's kind of like, okay, who is this foundation for this photographer that had passed away? The family is not affiliated with them, but they have these photographs that supposedly were archived, and these photographs were used to get this authentication, which of course boosts the value maybe up over $1 million from $27,000. So a lot of money at stake for that authentication. Now, in the meantime, there's been this investigation, and now the authenticator Migray, they've pulled back their authentication on it, saying like, hey, look, something is looking a little bit off with this. We're putting a freeze on our authentication opinion, essentially. And so still a developing story. I'm interested to see, because the foundation responded with an email and Darren Ravel posted it. And I want to see kind of where this goes. It'll be very interesting to find out kind of if there's more to the story, if it's an evolving story, or if that's what it is, kind of outed this thing as, hey, like the foundation doesn't look to be legit. I want to follow this and kind of see where it goes. But just like what we'll see in sports cards, and actually Neo did a video yesterday that caught my eye about Lorcana cards that come out of China, if I have that right. I believe those cards are manufactured in China. And look, we know that a lot of fake bags and fake watches and fake clothes and just counterfeit things, they come from China. So the idea that they're going to be doing reprints and different things, that's a little bit troubling, especially if they have fakes, Lorcana cards that did make it into PSA 10 holders. But to defend PSA, from what Neo was saying, is that the fakes actually look to be almost better quality than the real ones. So it's not as if, it's a very obvious fake. The fakes actually look really, really good, in comparison to the original, actually maybe even better card stock, which of course, that throws everyone for a loop. It just, I guess, kind of goes back to we all have to be very careful. And as the money goes up, as the price goes up for certain memorabilia items or cards, you're going to have people that are trying to weasel their way in there and make money off of it. And so for sports memorabilia, this is not a brand new thing. As far as just people, with fake signatures, fake this or that, or trying to create provenance around items happens in the art world too, where it's like, oh, there's this piece of art and it's a replica, or it's a beautiful fake version of it, or whatever. So anytime you've got huge money wrapped up into sports memorabilia and cards, which we've seen balloon way up over the last few years, and even with the pullback on a lot of prices, still very expensive stuff. It's a very expensive hobby in general. It's kind of why I stick to just the basic stuff. In other words, I've got a signed speed helmet, Saints helmet from Drew Brees. It cost me $400. But I'm not in that game used market, to where you're spending huge money on it. I understand the draw to it. And if I did have endless money, I could see, buying into some of it. But this is actually an example too, just this whole photo matching thing. And we're trying to go back in time. I just think that's got to be really tough to do. But a lot of people saying like, oh, Fanatics taking over, this stinks and all this, and Fanatics is not going to be better. This could be an area where Fanatics could really do some good work here. And what I mean by that is being able to take those jerseys, those game-used playoff jerseys, and Fanatics in combination with the NBA or the NFL or whatever, and take that stuff right away, be able to go ahead, authenticate it right away. So when that stuff does hit the secondary market, there's a trail, of this thing. Let's just say, Justin Herbert. Oh, no, let's be more realistic. Derek Carr takes the Saints and they win the Super Bowl this year. That Super Bowl winning jersey. If he doesn't, I don't know if he doesn't keep it. They probably wear a few different jerseys. The league, Fanatics, they take it, they go ahead, authenticate it, and then if they want to cut it up and do different things with it, fine. Or if they're going to actually sell it as a game-used Super Bowl worn Derek Carr jersey, it's all been done. That work has all been done on the front end, as opposed to us just trying to figure it all out. Now, if we go back in time, it's very difficult to do this. You can't go back in time, and do these photo matching things, but you can do it starting now. So Wemby's coming into the league. If Wemby is the next LeBron, let's get on top of it. Let's get all of his, all this stuff. Let's create processes to where there is not this wonder of, oh, is this jersey from the 2012 World Series or, whatever? We've got these photos. We've got this photo matching. I don't know. I couldn't spend $1 million with even if it was authenticated by 3 different companies and they had, photos from this, that, or whatever. I don't know if I could drop huge money on something like that. And so I don't know. What do you guys think about photo matching, whether in sports memorabilia? And this could actually be something Fanatics could do really well. They can do a lot of things on the card side to make sure that we're covered here, and they can also do stuff on the memorabilia side because, of course, they're Fanatics and they sell all that stuff too. All right, guys, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.